Teachers and professors of Reddit, what's the best answer you've gotten on an exam that wasn't technically wrong? 1. English teacher in Japan. The students were to finish the sentence, "I can't stand." And someone wrote, "I can't stand on water." 2. In an intro bio lab quiz, I asked my students to define bilateral symmetry. One student simply drew an arrow and wrote "C reverse." On the back of the quiz was an extremely ornate and intricate drawing of Chewbacca. 10 out of 10 quality. Running down the middle of Chewbacca was a dotted line. Full points. 3. Geology test. Is this a rock or a mineral? My answer: yes. Got full credit and didn't even realize I had misread the question until I got the test back. 4. My wife is an elementary school teacher and she actually has a Word document of her favorite answers to test and homework questions. One that stands out the most to me was an answer to a homework question. The kids were practicing their 2's times tables and the question said something along the lines of, John lives in his house, with his mom, dad, brother, and grandpa. How many total hands do the people in John's house have altogether? The answer they were looking for was 10 and they wanted the students to show that 2 times 5 equals 10. This young man instead wrote, "Not enough information. We don't know if anyone in the family lost a hand." He wasn't wrong. My wife just wrote, "Good thinking" on his assignment and gave him full credit. The kid was bright, and knew his times tables, so that wasn't an issue. He just wanted to think outside the box. 5. Student teaching and was finishing up the WWIL unit with a test. One of the final questions was about Japanese internment camps, and asked if the Japanese Americans ever received reparations and if so, what were they? The answer in yes, in the late 80s surviving victims received $20,000. While the students were taking their tests, one asked me, "Mr. K, what are reparations?" Was a little busy with other questions so I said, "Like payback." The student nods and starts writing. Next week I was grading these and got to his. For his answer, he wrote, "The Japanese did receive reparations in the form of the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki." I laughed but realized this was mostly my fault and gave him partial credit and an explanation after class the next day. 6. College level math. Probability. The question described a game of chance, and the payoffs for each outcome. Then it asked, what is the fair price you would charge your friend to play this game? The student worked out carefully that the friend would win, on average, $1.20 per game. So he wrote, "Therefore the fair price I would charge my friend to play the game is $2, because I want to make a profit." 7. Chemistry test. Why shouldn't you smoke at a petrol station? You might get cancer. 8. I work with kids. Part of my job is best described as tutoring. And I work with 2 kids at once. One of the children had to write sentences on what he enjoys doing that does not involve electronics. I was trying to help him think of things to help him, going for a walk, reading a book, playing ball, drawing and so on. At one point I asked his partner, who is 5, if he had any ideas. He responded with, "I like wearing a shirt."